All right, thanks for joining us. Another reaction video from Venza. Joining us today, we've got Josías and we've got Jessica. Introduce yourselves.
Sure, I'm Josías de la Espada. I'm with Pirsonal. I'm the CEO at Pirsonal. We help organizations increase sales and engagement through personalized multimedia marketing. This is personalized videos, images, audios, landing pages that are automatically created to engage with individuals on a one-to-one basis, automatically and scalable.
Very
Happy
great.
to help.
Thank you. Good to see you again. Yeah, Jessica.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jessica, and I work for Sertifi. So I'm responsible for international expansion and growth. We're focused on Europe right now. Our solution is an agreement platform for closing business conveniently, securely online. So that includes everything from e-signatures to electronic payments.
Right on. Great. So we've been friends with Sertifi for quite some years now at Venza, and we're new friends with Pirsonal and Josías. We met at High Tech Europe, I believe. Yeah, so good to see you again. So Sean, if you wouldn't mind sharing the article, we're going to get their reaction to this article. It was put up by our friends over at Hospitality Upgrade, so shout out to them. And this article is it's talking about negative RevPAR in Europe. So Jessica, Josías, and I are all operating here in Europe, and so it's kind of startling numbers in that gross operating profits per available room has gone down. Right at the top of it, the article references 9.4%. Through the article, it references the fact that two important things have occurred. Ancillary profits, food and beverage, etc., has dropped. So that was a decline. And then an increase in payroll costs. We had another reaction video a week or so ago about a similar article referencing GoPAR going down a lot in the UK, and as a result of payroll costs. And so we were kind of wondering if that had to do with Brexit, if it had to do with people. There's a lot of Europeans that work in the hospitality space, continental Europeans there in the UK, Polish, Spanish, Italians working in hotels. And if they're leaving, they're all speculative, but if what could be the reason for these payroll increases, particularly hit in this article, they reference some of the increased costs in Moscow. So really seeing a drop in revenue. So what's your reaction? Anything surprising? Anything not surprising? Why don't we put Josías on the spot? You go first.
Sure. So I don't know all the details, but so for example, I'm personally based in Spain, and the Spanish labor force salary in general are lower than in other European countries. Right. So if hotels are getting ready for Brexit or any other type of potential crisis, there are some things happening globally in terms of the economy. So that has something to do. So for example, I remember my advertising days back when I used to working in an advertising agency, and whenever a crisis was coming, you would see companies smart companies would get ready for what would happen in a couple of years, 1 year, a couple of months, especially a couple of years if they were smart. So maybe that's something that's happening here. Also, I mean, there is a change in terms of, I think, in terms of who's traveling when. There are other economies that are potentially getting better. There are other destinations that are also getting better. So all that, I'm not an economist or an expert, but all that has something to do with the I guess some of these numbers that you are sharing. That's my opinion.
Yeah, it is concerning. It's wondering what the overall trend is. Jessica, your thoughts?
Well, I'm reading the paragraph about Nice and the peak and how it was in contrast to the decline. So I definitely can see that here in the French Riviera. A lot of traffic comes through in July and August. It is packed. There are so many people. So that doesn't surprise me. But I would say that perhaps the hotels are preparing for potential security breaches. They're improving their technology. So perhaps they're making investments in those areas. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, and I think both of your businesses are in the business of helping organizations optimize, and so maybe they're making some of those investments in order to down the road keep costs at an absolute low, so that they could weather whatever kind of dip in the market we might possibly see.
Yeah, but I was reading, I think it was yesterday, an article talking about the investment of hotels. I think it was for either South Europe or Spain only. I'm not 100% sure. Mm-hmm. And it was basically a breakdown in terms of where hotels had invested or have been investing money, and where they were planning to invest money. And there, I mean, I didn't see like a change in terms of, or the article didn't talk about a change in terms of what hotels have been doing in the maybe in comparison to 2017 or 2018. But in our case, for example, most of our clients, they basically get money from either sales, marketing, or advertising budgets. We haven't seen a trend in terms of either more or less investment. Everything is more or less the same, but we are getting ready for a potential recession in terms of diversifying lines and all that, because we don't really know what's going to happen in maybe 2 years from now or things like that. So something is happening, and I believe that some experts around the world might know something about it. But you also see some family economies that are potentially getting better, but on the other side, banks are again restricting loans and things like that. So I don't know, there is something happening there. And in the end, in our case, marketing budgets, sales budgets, advertising budgets are usually the first budgets to get cut. So I don't know, there is something happening around in at least in some industries, and for sure this is one of the industries that gets touched.
Quick question: What do you all think? Do you think that this article and the discussion of negative RevPAR and some of these, the increase in payroll costs, for example, as they reference, do you think this is a lagging indicator of what was, and this is just a result of what had happened? Or do you think of this as some kind of leading indicator of what is to come? Because what you were just describing, Josías, seemed to be that your thinking is that this may be a sign of what is to come. And Jessica, you kind of indicated, it sounded like you were talking about this is an indication of the future. So is that where the both of you are in terms of this is a kind of a window, an oracle into what the future brings?
Yeah, I think I would be curious to know what types of roles, like if the hotels were bringing on new types of roles and what those job titles are. That would be a question that I would want answered.
Yeah, is it rank and file staff, or is it are they increasing their obviously with Venza we can talk about security. So are they looking for people with security expertise, which is a subset, an expensive tends to be subset of the IT security or of the IT team. So are they looking to bolster that aspect of their payroll?
Right.
So yeah, it would be
Or
great to
even-
dig into these numbers. Yeah.
Yeah, even like building out loyalty programs. Are they hiring more digital people for
That's a
those
good one.
types of initiatives?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good one. I don't really know the answer. I think that both both things are applicable. So there is a trend in terms of hiring new generations of marketers, salespeople, etc. New people, CRM people, security people, data protection people. So that's a clear trend, and we see that all the time. But on the other hand, there is also another trend in terms of the unstable financial situation worldwide, and in this case specifically in Europe, because the UK and all these things that are happening. So I don't really know the details, but yeah, there is something happening.
There's something happening. Well, I appreciate you all joining this reaction call. Fantastic insight, and always nice to talk to you guys. So, Josías, Jessica, anything else to share at the end here? Sean, running the show back there in the U.S. office.
No, I'm up against a hard break here. We're gonna have to go to commercial.
Okay.
So I'm gonna be playing some music over top of this. Yeah. No, good job,
Very
guys.
good.
Thank you,
Thanks
guys.
so much.
Thank you. Take care. Have a good one. Bye.